Welcome to the Word for Life podcast, a daily devotional covering the entire Bible from Genesis to Revelation.
In chapter 26, the Lord had asked Moses to count the Israelites. This was because after the Israelites entered Canaan, the tribes of Israel had to be given inheritances, and lands for each tribe will be given based on the number of families in each tribe. So, after the census was taken, now in chapter 27, a certain family from the tribe of Manasseh approached Moses. The father Zelophehad had died, leaving 5 daughters behind. You see, in Israelite society, the father who was the head of the family received the land. After his death, the land passed to his sons. Daughters could also receive inheritance, but only in the form of a dowry or a wedding gift from their father. But only sons would receive the father's inheritance. So the question was, when the tribes of Manasseh would be given lands in Canaan, what will the daughters of Zelophehad get? When the 5 daughters of Zelophehad questioned Moses and the leaders of Israel, this is what Moses did. Verse 5 reads, "So Moses brought their case before the Lord." Friends, Moses was not ashamed to confess that he did not know the answer. Moses modeled humility for the Israelites. He also showed them how only the Lord can take decisions in important matters. You see, this is not the first time Moses told the Israelites that he did not know the answer and went to the Lord. 2 other times before this, in chapters 9 and 15, Moses went to the Lord for answers. And the Lord answered Moses and Israel. Verse 6 and 7 reads, "And the Lord said to him, What Zelophehad's daughters are saying is right. You must certainly give them property as an inheritance among their father's relatives and give their father's inheritance to them." And then God explained how daughters can receive inheritances from their fathers. Friends, Moses stands as our model today. Most people make decisions based on what culture says, or the law of the land says, or what the community they live in says. But believers are to be led by divine will. When they are confused, believers seek God's guidance. You see, sometimes it can be disastrous to let friends, neighbors, and society decide what the right course of action should be. By this action, Moses taught this important lesson to all the young Israelites who are now going to enter Canaan. Interestingly, Joshua, Moses' successor, followed this example. In Joshua chapter 7 verse 6 we read, "Then Joshua tore his clothes and fell face down to the ground before the ark of the Lord, remaining there till evening." The elders of Israel did the same and sprinkled dust on their heads. Joshua asked the Lord to answer. Then God gave them the answer. Joshua discerned God's will. So here, because of Moses, the Israelites received a new and important law. God gave clarity to Israel about what they need to do when a man dies, leaving his daughters behind without an inheritance. Moses did the same when the Lord told him that he is about to die. In Numbers 27 verse 16 we read, Moses told the Lord, "May the Lord, the God who gives breath to all living things, appoint someone over this community." You see, Moses did not appoint Joshua as his successor. He could have. After all, Joshua had been faithful and diligent to him for so many years. Joshua, along with Caleb, had displayed faith when the 10 other leaders of Israel rebelled against God and said they cannot possess Canaan. But Moses did not decide the next leader of Israel. He wanted the Lord to decide. Friends, when believers take important decisions, they pause and seek God's guidance. They trust that the Lord will give them discernment. You see, our culture encourages self-determination and self-interest. But believers want their lives to be directed and controlled by a wise and loving God. Because believers know that God has plans and purposes for their lives. You see, we do not know how quickly the Lord replied to Moses' prayer. Perhaps Moses had to wait for some time for the Lord to give him clarity. Sometimes believers talk to prayerful friends and after a while discern what the Lord wants them to do. But the basic point is believers seek God's directions. When Moses inquired of the Lord about this important decision which will affect the future of Israel, the Lord answered him. Verse 18 and 19 we read, So the Lord said to Moses, Take Joshua son of Nun, a man in whom is the spirit of leadership, and lay your hand on him. Have him stand before Eleazar the priest and the entire assembly, and commission him in their presence. So, that is how Joshua was selected to be the next leader of Israel. He was the Lord's appointment. And after this, the Lord told Moses that even Joshua would need to ask the Lord when he has to take important decisions. Verse 21 reads, He, that is Joshua, is to stand before Eleazar the priest, who will obtain decisions for him by inquiring of the Urim before the Lord. Friends, we are not alone in this world. God is our shepherd and guide. He leads all those who are willing to listen. When believers seek the Lord, they receive clarity. This will also give them confidence.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow for the next episode of the Word for Life podcast.